And it's cooling off quick, so I don't know. I doubt that'll hold up, but I'm still really happy with the effort here from Junior Motorsports and with this car, this 88 Chevrolet. It's a solid effort.
You said the Cup car helped you a lot. How?
Well, it's just getting in a rhythm, and this is just one of those tracks I didn't have a lot of confidence at, so it just helps you build confidence and getting a little bit of rhythm.
Brad Keselowski, the 88 tonight.
And he practiced 20th in the Cup car a little bit earlier this afternoon. As you take a look at Joe Nemechek, Joe runs 22.28 seconds on his second lap. That'll slot him in the number 7 position right now out of the 9 cars that have taken time.
Hey, we're talking about good qualify. Joe always seems to qualify well. He's got 18 poles in this series, and that's just a remarkable job he's done. And it doesn't surprise me when he always qualifies well. He's always done it his whole life.
As he pulls in, next up on the track will be the 32 with David
Could win this race.
behind.
He's just that good here all the time.
20-year-old Coleman Presley, the son of Robert from Asheville, North Carolina, trying to make his 3rd career nationwide series start. And you can see lap tracker pretty fast into turn 1, but as he comes across, he's 13th right now, 22.19 seconds, and a lot of cloud cover out there right now, Rusty, so track temperature down.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching the cloud cover get all over turn 1 and 2 right now. The track's shaded, and when you get a little bit of cloud cover at this racetrack, Marty, the speeds generally pick up big time. I'm not talking it's a little bit of speed. I mean, you'll see a 2 and a 3/10 second change when the track just gets a little temperature out of it.
Wow. Talk about how it steps up. 21.91 seconds. He moves into the number 5 spot. So the young 20-year-old who has multiple late model wins back in North Carolina and South Carolina is looking pretty doggone good right now. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
And Greg Biffle.
Back here at Richmond International Raceway, it's now time for us to get into the toughest part of the qualifying process. This is the go or go home group. Derek Cope, who was 12th fastest among this group in the final practice, out on track right now. His first lap at 23.41 seconds. That puts him 31st out of 31 cars.
Yeah, that doesn't make you feel good at all. I mean, he had a big condition off of turn 2 where the car got loose on the very first lap, big time. He's a 23.41 the first lap. This second lap ought to be a little bit better, and it is a 22.43, but that's still 28th quickest, and in my mind, that's not a very safe area.
And as he brings it on out, we'll check in with his Johnny Chapman. This car set up specifically to qualify and get into the field. Johnny on the first lap, 22.27 seconds, and that puts him second quickest of the go or go homer so far.
Marty, take a look how he's tracking right now. He's tracking 12th, 13th fastest at the moment. And these cars, the go or go homers, they have no choice except to try to get these cars go as fast as they can for 2 laps. And the setups they put inside them a lot of times will create a fast lap as Johnny clocks in 16th, but they just won't race good. They got to get him in the race to make the money.
Yeah, he's now the fastest of the 4 go or go homers. And Denny Hamlin, I think, Vince, you've caught up with him.
Showed that when they all come out and told their stories. Got to meet a lot of people. And also Flight 93 come down in near Jennerstown, PR, hometown racetrack. And it really hit close to home right there. So we wanted to do something special. Wanted to make awareness to the 9/11 Memorial, and what better place than the most patriotic fans in the world, and that's in NASCAR. And we appreciate all their help.
Very nice tribute. Let's talk about making the field real quick. I know you got to get in your car. Chances, you were pretty good in practice.
We were decent in practice. Would have liked to be a little bit better, but we'll see what we have right now. We got high hopes for qualifying here.
All right, Benny Gordon looking to make his 6th start in the Nationwide Series.
Well, and one guy who's definitely in is Kevin LePage. As he finishes up, he is the 3rd quickest of the go or go homers, and he slots right ahead of Mr. Chapman. So Johnny still one of the 4 that could be bumped, although we think those times are going to hold up as we have some of the slower cars still to come in this group.
And Kevin locked in the field right there. That's just such a good feel when we sit up and see these guys get locked in, because like I said, this is a nail-biting time. These guys have got to qualify. They're not guaranteed by points like the top 30 are. Anybody out of the top 30's got to get themselves qualified in, and that's the tough part right now for these cats.
Now Casey on the lap tracker is being compared to Johnny Chapman. Johnny right now slotted 19th overall, but the time to beat is 22.055.
Casey's on track for a pretty decent run right now. These second laps are much better. Take a look at the distance he picks up off of turn 2. Kind of loses it on the entry of turn 3. And everything he gained, he lost right there getting into turn 3.
And as he comes across, he is now the slowest of those in the go or go home group. So this is treacherous territory for the 05 in Casey Atwood. 22.49. That's, you talked about nail biting. He's not going to have any nails left by the time this is over. And just as we come back, Chris Lawson does a complete 360 and trying to see how much damage was done. This was right in front of us here on the front straightaway. Chris looking to make his first nationwide series start here at Richmond. He did take the green, so I'm afraid that this lap is toast.
Well, it is toast. There's no doubt about that. But if he gets this thing back up to speed, and he hasn't flat spotted the tires too much, he's got another lap to try to get in his field. Now, he would have had the opportunity to slow up and actually back up around the racetrack, Marty, a little bit and try to get a run at it again, which he didn't do that, and that might have hurt him right there. But he's got this lap to get this thing done.
Well, you can see what happened on lap number 1. Here he comes through turns 3 and 4. Oh, getting it sideways a little, and he gets it across the line. 23.095. That is not going to be enough. Now, he has not officially been eliminated yet, but it's not looking good for Chris. He's the slowest of the go or go homers. Take another look.
Let's take a look at this replay. It's right on the bottom of the racetrack, and the back end kicks out right there. And right at that point, he gets up in those marbles, keeps on spinning, doesn't hit anything, and does a good job driving this car on the brakes, locking it up. As you see, the problem is when you're on the brakes that long, you flat spot the front tires, and you'll lose all the front grip. Let's take a look at it again. It's right on around. There's only one positive thing about that, Marty. Generally, when that happens, they generally wreck the car really bad. And the guy did a good job keeping his car off the wall.
Smoke him if you got him. And he did. But it may be a long trip home for Chris Lawson, because right now he is dead last in the group of go or go homers. Mark Green on the track right now, and that is compared to Travis Quapple's time. And Mark already has assured himself of being in this race. 22.24 seconds. So is Shelby Howard, Johnny Chapman, Kevin LePage, Scott Wimmer, and Paul Menard. The 4 that are outside looking in right now are Travis Quapple, Derek Cope, Casey Atwood, and Chris Lawson. And boy, Mark really steps it up. He goes up to 7th with 21.87 seconds.
Great run for him. I mean, this is another one of the go or go homers we talked about. Probably has a special qualifying setup in this car to get a good fast lap. And I tell you, Mark did a great job. Got a lot of stuff out of that car. 7th fastest. And I tell you what, 21.87 this time of day. Pretty doggone good run. And he took advantage of the cool track temperatures to get that done.
Keep an eye on Scott Wimmer in the Fastenal Chevy tonight.
What we're keeping an eye on right now, Vince, is the 96 of Dennis Setzer. He too in this group of go or go homers. His time compared to Travis Quapple. And Setzer is not fast enough right now. 22.59 seconds. He's got to pick it up. He's got to beat 22.309.
Dennis Setzer, another short track ace. We hear about him in the Carolinas a lot. Up in Virginia, always seems like he's winning. Up at places like Martinsville, Hickory Motor Speedway, places like that. A real ace on these short tracks.
Well, second lap, 22.36 seconds. He is not locked in, but he has given Travis Quapple the punched ticket to tonight's race. So right now, the guys that are still waiting and biting their fingernails: Setzer, Cope, Atwood, and Lawson. And we've had 42 cars take official times.
Tell you what, I believe that was a good enough lap out of Dennis Setzer. He's going to be the next one to lock in. I really think this guy will make the race. Taking a look at what's coming up behind him. Like I said, Dennis, a good little short track racer, that's for sure.
And as you see the crew talking to Benny, and boy, a lot of pressure off of his shoulders. Out on the track is Morgan Shepard, 67 years old. We mentioned this earlier in case you weren't with us. 15 drivers here were born after Morgan finished second in the first Nationwide Series race ever run at this track back in February of 1982.
Morgan's another guy that's got a lot of short track experience, although he's had some rough luck of late. He's missed the last 2 or 3 races in a row. It's been financially devastating on this team. He's talked about it. I think everybody would like to see him make this field right now, but it's not looking good at the moment. He's first lap at 22.78.
And
not a good run.
Yeah, the tracker's going the wrong direction, 22.59. Dennis Setzer has just gotten locked in. And Morgan is in that group that could potentially be going home again. And you're right. He needs to make the field to just keep afloat.
The brakes went down. I wasn't ready for that, and kind of held back a little bit. We didn't pick up like everybody else is the second lap. That's what we're disappointed about. But we know after that first lap we have a good enough car that can race pretty good tonight.
Well, Benny, I think it's safe to say a lot of people are going to be watching the 72 911 Memorial Tribute car in the race tonight for his 6th time ever in the Nationwide Series.
Yes, they certainly will, Jamie. Thanks for the update. As you were finishing up, J.C. Stout finished up and put himself in the show at 22.13 seconds. Good for the 26th overall position. It means Chris Lawson is definitely on the trailer and going to be packing it up in the hauler and heading home. And still, with a few more cars to go, the guys that are sweating bullets: Derek Cope, Casey Atwood, Morgan Shepard. 91 on the track right now. There's 30-year-old Justin Hobgood.
Well, just 3 more cars to go right now. A lot of pressure on this young man right now to get this thing in the field. He looks pretty good at the moment right now.
Boy, he did. A nice 22.22 seconds, and that guarantees him a spot. And the bad news is Morgan Shepard has been eliminated, and he'll be heading home. So now you're comparing to the pole sitter of Denny Hamlin, and take a look. Oh, Hobgood is really hustling this 91. Seeing where he can move up to. How about to the 11th position? 21.91 seconds. So while he goes on out, let's talk for Casey Atwood, Morgan Shepard, Chris Lawson, and Derek Cope is the last one who is sweating bullets.
Marty, I tell you, the thing I hate about what I just saw there, Morgan Shepard, like we just talked, I mean, this is, he's been missing these races a lot of late, and this financially is killing this race team. I think everybody at this track was pulling for Morgan to make this thing.
Well, and quite honestly, this is why people are upset with the Start&Park guys, because here's a guy who's trying to do it for the whole season, trying to qualify, try and run the whole race instead of going out, putting on that trick setup for qualifying, and then pulling off 4 or 5 laps in. And their heart's bleeding for this guy because he is bleeding racing.
He's been doing a lot of NASCAR racing his whole entire life. I feel bad for him. Let's hope he can get his act together, start getting back in the field.
Take a look at Josh Wise. He has already locked himself in with that first lap, 22.13 seconds in this 07 car. That's good for 26th. Here he comes on the second lap and looking pretty consistent. And what it means also that now Derek Cope is the 4th and final guy that's not going to make this race. Comes across a little bit slower, 22.2 seconds. So our field is now set. So for Denny Hamlin, he scores his 13th Nationwide Series pole.